Peace. Good morning, family. How you doing? It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. And today is Wednesday already. It's like, wow. Let me get my stuff situated and straight. So when y'all show up and come in, I have everything already ready and prepared for you. Um, but today is Wednesday, May the 11th. And this week is flying, I'm telling you. It's almost mid-month already. Like Saturday, I think. Yeah, it's the 15th. It's like, wow, like where did May go? Like where did the first of May go? But the first of May has come and the first of May has went. And now it's almost the mid-month of May. So all you June babies, I know you're like, oh, I can't wait till I turn whatever. I can't wait till I turn 15. I can't wait till I turn 16, 18, 21, 30, 40, 50. Somebody's turning 100. But hey, they're here. And you're here with me here at Consistency is Currency. And I just want to thank you for being here. Everybody that is watching right now on Facebook, I appreciate you. Those are maybe watching on YouTube. Again, I appreciate you always. If you're listening on the airways, as they call the podcast distribution units on iHeartRadio, if you're listening to it on Spotify, if you're listening to it on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Facebook Podcasts, as well as Anchor, I appreciate you 1000% just being here, because it takes dedication. We're talking about dedication today, and it definitely takes dedication on both parts. Dedication for me to get up and do what I do, to come and to communicate and to open up about either myself or just open up another chamber inside of your brain to allow you to see things just from a different perspective. What I say is not always, it might not always hit you the same way every day, but trust and believe you're going to get something from me, whether it is just a word that you just learn, or the definition or the etymology of the word itself. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So we're talking about dedication. Peace. Good morning to those who are watching. So we're talking about dedication. And one of the things that we have to understand with the word dedication is that everyone has their own journey. I mean, we do. Not everybody is going to do it. Not everybody is going to exemplify it. Not everybody is going to be consistent with it, but everyone have their own journey to become a dedicated person. So just because you do it and somebody else does not do it when you're doing it does not necessarily mean that person is not dedicated to that particular thing. That might just not be what they on right now. But we all know what a lack of dedication look like, right? And because we know what a lack of dedication look like, sometimes we have to look within at our own self and see how we operate. I just believe that's the best way to look at it. Instead of point the finger and look at what other people are doing, you look at your own individual journey, because your individual journey is what is going to get you or allow you to get to your destination based off of what you are doing. And because we all have our own journey of being a dedicated person, not only do we express our dedication differently, but we also choose different areas of our lives to be dedicated to. Now, that's true. So if that's you, say it's you. If that's not you, then say it's not you. But looking at it, we all again have our own areas that we dedicate to. But however, there are some common characteristics of a dedicated person, which I hope today that I can help you embark on a new, unique journey into the dedication within. So there's going to be like 4 deep dives into the dedication within that we're going to be talking about today. And the reason why it's called dedication within, because your dedication has to come from inside of you. Now, there may be outside influence, but it still has to come from you. The origin may look like activities from someone else or motivation from something else, but dedication, that's an internal thing. That's an internal drive. That's an internal strength or an internal characteristic or an individual characteristic that you have to have if you actually want to be dedicated, because that is the innate ability for you to want something more and put work behind it. That is your dedication within. So now let's go ahead and peace. Good morning, Miss Williams. So now let's go ahead and go through the definition. Now, when I started to study the etymology of dedication, I was like blown away, because I never knew how many different facets to the word that dedication has. So as you hear it, there are so many different syllables to create the word itself. Dedication. There's 4 syllables, but each one of them actually has its own emphasis, but they're built when it's formed together. That's where the definition comes. So now let's go ahead and jump into it. So before we really jump 2 feet into this, and definitely before we get to the deep dive, make sure you go ahead and share this live on your Facebook, or share it live in a Facebook group, because this one is pretty deep. So now let's talk about the definition. The definition of dedication says it is an act of setting apart for a special purpose, the state of being committed. Now, the inversion on this is white over red, but I'm gonna read the definition one more time before we get to the inverted version of it. An act of setting apart for a special purpose. Like, what sets you apart? That's a question. So what sets you apart? Your dedication will set you apart, because everyone is born with the same amount of hours. Everyone, I don't care what time you wake up, there is still 24 hours in that day. There is still 7 days within that week. Now, of course, the days may vary as far as how many days in the month, or how many weeks in the month, but everyone is given the same amount. We're all still given 52 weeks in a year. We're all given 365 days in a year. But your dedication is what is going to set you apart from your peers, or set you apart from your competitors, however you see it. But it is an act of setting apart for a special purpose. What is your special purpose? What is your special reason? And your dedication is going to set you apart from that. So the inversion is an act of the committed. Now, those who are committed to a certain thing, they carry themselves differently. They carry themselves with doing things that sets them apart from what everybody else sees. Now, when you look at the state of being, that means there is a state of mind that person is in. A dedicated person has a different state of mind, right? That now, because that dedicated person has a different state of mind, that means they see things differently than a lot of other people. You may see, oh, time doesn't end. Well, the day doesn't end until midnight, so I'm gonna get this done by 11:59. Right? I mean, how many of our children has done that before, or how many of us have done that? It's due by midnight, so as long as I get it turned in and submitted by 11:59, I'm good. But the state of mind of a dedicated person, a person that's committed to the task, may say, now I'm going to sit down here, I'm going to focus on this, I'm going to get this done, and I want to ensure that I set aside some time to get this done, just so I can have more things to do throughout the day, because I have other things that I much rather be focusing on. That is the difference between that type of dedication, and the words of being committed, but the action that goes along with it. So now let's go into the etymology, etymology of dedication. So it has a Latin derivative. Now, the Latin dedication is to consecrate, proclaim, affirm, and set apart. Again, you're seeing set apart again, because an act of setting apart. So now you go back to the Latin. The root word of dedication says to consecrate, proclaim, affirm, and set apart. Again, that is taking you and setting you apart from what other things are going on. Like I'm going to pull myself out and I'm going to study. I'm going to put myself in this space. My headspace has to be in this moment in order for me to complete this particular task, to consecrate it. And we'll get into that a little bit further. So now let's begin to break this down. Now, this is when I began to look at the word itself and begin to learn more about this word. So the D of dedication, DE, the Latin D is down from, off, and concerning. So dedication. Now we're talking about the dedication within. That means it has to come down from something. That has to come out from your mind into its physical form. And it is also a Latin prefix that also has a functioning of undoing. Now, what does that mean? Now, when I began to look at this part, I was like, oh man, that's pretty deep, because it has the functioning of undoing something. Your dedication to something will undo those lazy habits, because you're going to be like, okay, I need to get dedicated today to doing this. If I'm ever going to fix this, or if I'm ever going to get this done, I need to undo what I did yesterday. So today I'm going to be dedicated to this task. Now that's just in the definition. Now this is just in the etymology of it. But yet in our own physical state, that's how we think. And I'm telling you, that's where the thoughts come from, because it came out of the origin. Because again, it says in a Latin prefix, it also had the function of undoing. Your dedication could undo the lazy behavior that you had. Your dedication could undo the things that you know that should have been done yesterday, that you have the power or you have the dedication today to undo it, to not do the opposite of, or undo. That is the D of dedication. So now going to the other part of dedication. Now remember, it has 4 syllables. Going to the other part, the Latin D is the Proto-Indo-European, the root meaning to show, and to show also, and pronounce solemnly. Now, to solemnly pronounce it, that is you telling you to say, I am dedicated to this task. I'm going to finish this task. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what is going on today. Today is my day to make this happen. And I'm going to pronounce that this will be done by this time. Again, this is just coming from the roots of the word. So it's not something that I'm making up. I'm looking at it for what it is. And it is something that we can say, okay, I'm dedicated to this because now I know where it comes from when I'm feeling these types of things. Now, the red part, now I was like, wow, it's true, because it is the hypothetical source of evidence for its existence. Because dedication could be hypothetical. Be like, let's say hypothetically I was dedicated to saving money. How much money could I have in my savings by the end of the year? Right? Because it is. It is a hypothetical source. That is something that is coming from inside of you that can come out of you. So now it doesn't necessarily have to be hypothetical. The evidence of you putting dedication towards savings will show at the end of the year. Or the dedication that you put towards your workout will show in your body transformation. Again, that's where that comes from. And then now I'm going into the last part of the syllable of the dedication in Latin diction, Latin decree, to say, state, proclaim, make known, allege, declare positively. That's something that you say. That's something that you breathe. That's something that is in your mindset. That's something that you proclaim that you have. That's something that you do. And when you declare it positively, it has no other option but to come to pass, because you have declared it. You have put forth an effort to make it happen. So now let's go ahead and take this quick deep dive into this. So the deep dive into becoming more dedicated, you have to consecrate your purpose. Consecrate it. Make it official. Make a promise to yourself, giving yourself time and giving yourself attention to your purpose. Make a declaration to the task to say, I will get this done. I will declare that I will have this done by 1 o'clock. I will declare I will have this done by 5. And why I want it done by 5? Because I have other stuff that I need to do. So I will consecrate my purpose and what I want to do in this time now, in this moment. And it's easy to have the will or the motivation to win, but it's the desire that you have that will set you apart. Because in your preparation, you're going to take the necessary steps to reach that particular goal, but without the decision to commit to it, your desires is just a wish. It is just a wish. It won't become what it is to be, because you're still wishing that you've made a commitment, and you're still wishing that you was dedicated to it. Because remember, it said it could be a hypothetical thing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, because you have to kick in and make that hypothetical thought of dedication just a solid reality. And then the next deep dive is to find a deeper reason. Find that thing that you pull out of you. It's coming from inside of you, because it's coming from your innate ability comes from inside of you. But sure, we all want money and fancy cars and big houses and, nice bodies that we want to get our, summer body back and stuff like that. But it's fine and all, but we have to attach our goals to deeper reasons. Let our motivation and dedication come from our why. Because your why is so important, because when it is your why, it's what drives you. And sometimes our quit or our reasoning of not wanting to do something will try to reroute you from your personal GPS. But your why can keep you in line in a direction of travel that you're striving to go towards. So keep your why. Find a deeper reason. If it's your children, find that reason and stay on it. If it's a loved one, find that reason and stay on it. If it's something that you want to accomplish at the end of the year, keep that deeper reason and stay focused on it and be dedicated to the task at hand, and not just dedicated to the moment in the moment. But you have to become consistent with that dedication if you want those things to come to pass. And the third deep dive is to refine and redefine your goals. The redefine is there because remember, it says that your dedication can undo. You can refine it and you can undo and come back and make your goals happen, because now you have begun to redefine the things that you could have done different the last time. Because it's hard to dedicate yourself to something that has no real end in sight. But create that real end, that realistic point of view or that goal that you want to actually tangibly touch, but spend more time refining your goals, but completely make sure that your goals are clear in exactly what you want to accomplish. And when you get to that part, it's just going to make things that much more easier for you to do. And the fourth deep dive is to work smarter, not harder. I mean, I know we've all heard this, but there's something, that we have to do, which is focus on what's important and eliminate the activities that are unnecessary. That's what this is. That's what this means. Work smarter, not harder. Focus on what's important and eliminate any activities that are completely unnecessary to your goal or completely unnecessary to what you hope to accomplish. Now, here we have a city councilwoman, and Ms. Cobb says something that is, every time I hear it, it's just phenomenal. So she says, work will win when wishing won't. How many times we wished we had something, but we did not put the work or the effort in to making it happen? She says, work will win when wishing won't. And here's the last bonus deep dive, which is hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable, because unfortunately, willpower isn't enough to keep you strong. It's not. Willpower may give you the oomph or the push in a direction, but after you've been pushed and after you've jumped, because we've talked about in the past, this week, talked about starting, but after you have started, the willpower may give you the energy to start, but now you have to have the dedication to continue to do it, because we all need to be consciously and effectively work towards that maintaining of the dedication in our lives. And I think when we get that and we do that, that's going to push us in a direction to where we are holding our success accountable by the work and the actions that we put into it. And then after you do that, you become consistent, because now it's becoming a habit. Now it's you learning how to do it over and over again. It's you learning to see it on sight and know how to action those thoughts when those thoughts become physically tangible for you to do, because you know how to do it more than once and be dedicated to it. But that's all I have for y'all. Hey, it's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Y'all be blessed. Peace.